you can just rip on it and just...
It was completely stock?
I'm pretty sure it was all stock. It was blown up, it didn't run. We had it towed here. We bought it from Ian Gebbia, actually. That's a blown up motor. I don't remember what was wrong with it. I think it had a cracked piston or something in it.
A 6.4 with a cracked piston?
Yeah.
Impossible.
Yeah, I wanted to build an awesome street truck. I wanted to spool fast, run great. We had it towed here, and we just ground up build, so I never really had it 100% stock. We got the engine from Kill Devil Diesel, the transmission from Andy Warren, and we've adjusted the injectors and turbos and pumps, but other than that, the engine and transmissions never changed. It's the original engine and transmission we used for all of our turbo testing. Gosh, this has had hundreds of dyno, hundreds is a lot, but probably 100 to 200 dyno runs on it. Just tons of dyno runs, tons of track time. It's actually my tow truck on the weekends. I use it when I need to tow something. I always use the 6.4. It's my daily drive when I'm not test driving something else, but yeah, it's been great. Been through a couple of fuel systems on it. We had a couple of issues with that we never really figured out, but this is I've been through 3 sets of injectors and 6 high pressure fuel pumps. No one ever told me what would happen. They kept saying debris in your fuel, you must be getting fuel from a bad station. It's like, all my diesels all get fuel from the same station. Even a bunch of 6.7s with the problematic CP4s, none of those ever have problems. And I've been through tons of injectors. I've done like single change outs a few times, but I've changed out the whole set 3 different times, and I've been through 6 high pressure fuel pumps. So it's been good now, as of late, but yeah, I had a lot of problems with fuel systems.
Did you just replace the stock pump each time? What is that called on a 6.4?
High pressure fuel pump.
No, it's not a VP44, is it?
K16.
K16.
Yeah, they're K16s. It is dual pumps, so dual K16s. I went through a couple of different companies. I don't want to trash anyone, but I didn't just buy the same pumps from the same company every time. I would switch injector companies and switch pump companies every time because they'd never warranty anything. They always just said you had trash fuel. But yeah, been doing pretty good now.
I would say you did hundreds of dyno testing because I was there for a lot of it, and
I should stack them all and just like line them all up and show the progression of it.
Well, having over 100 dyno runs is just impressive, and it just goes to show you the length of and that we take to ensure that a product is ready for market.
Oh yeah, I mean, I always say this in our R&D development videos. We don't just take a catalog, pick a couple of turbo sizes, and send out turbos. I mean, I'm not going to name any names, but I know a turbo company that's pretty popular right now. 1 year ago, never heard of them. Never even made one turbo ever. And this year, they've got a couple of different turbos for every platform. Cummins, Duramax, Powerstroke, all the different models. Like, you R&D'd that, like, before you release one turbo, you released all the turbos? No, they went through a catalog, picked a couple of sizes. But we don't just release a turbo, we make sure it's an improvement, and we work on reliability, power, spool up, performance, and that's why our products shine so much over the years. We've been known as a industry standard. Everyone always compares it to the KC. That's because we're not a product catalog guy, we test. So we took the 6.4 from stock injectors and like 650 horsepower all the way up to almost 1100 horsepower, step by step, making the turbos along the way, finding out what works and what doesn't. And now our 6.4 turbos blow everything out of the water.
And our compressor wheel designs are proprietary. They're not just pulled from a catalog.
Oh, right. Yeah, we design all of our compressor wheels in-house. Now, early on, I didn't realize that you had to pay to have your part numbers proprietary. So there's a few of our part numbers early on in the beginning that just became standard parts in someone's catalog, and people were able to get a hold of them. But we learned that lesson real quick, and we've changed it up since then. And yeah, all of our wheels are proprietary, our turbine wheels are proprietary, but that doesn't mean someone's not going to buy it, copy it, and it ends up in someone else's turbo. I mean, then people do that with our covers, our wheels. They do it with everything. So, everyone's like, oh, look, you buy the same crap as KC on eBay. Yeah, that's because someone bought it, copied it, and put it on eBay. 6.4 turbos, high and low, are just completely different. This is running our stage 2 low pressure turbo and our stage 1 high pressure turbo. So the low pressure turbo has an upgraded compressor cover with a 4-inch inlet, matte groove, anti-surge ring. It's a ported cover with a larger compressor wheel. It's only a 75, and it's because we tried making bigger compressor wheels and it didn't make a difference. Some people have had 76 and 77. Oh, it's 1 millimeter bigger. Well, we tested ours against there, and 75 was the magic number where it was the most horsepower, no extra lag. And then we're the only one in the industry that I know of that has a larger turbine wheel option. It's a larger S400 or precision style turbine wheel that just makes a huge difference. I mean, we tested the same compressor wheels and just adding the turbine wheel lowered back pressure, lowered EGTs, and raised boost.
That sounds like winning.
So what I love about the truck is how clean it runs. I mean, you can just rip on it and just, I mean, that's 60 mile an hour rolling burnouts. It takes off.
Very clean.
This is turned way down too. I mean, it's probably, the truck will make 1,000 horsepower turned up, but I like to run it like 800 horsepower on the streets, because anything more than that, you're just blowing your tires off. So I try to keep it, right at the limit of traction. We've got an LSD in the back, decent tires, but without four-wheel drive, it is real tough to keep the tires on the ground.
But it's essentially a reliable 800.
Oh, yeah. Super reliable. I mean, it'll tow anything, cool EGTs. You can plug the motor in overdrive and not have to worry about it. I mean, I know guys like to do the non-VGT swap, but I don't get it. You can look at the dyno graph, and between 1,500 and 2,000 RPMs, non-VGT becomes useless. I mean, that's most of where you spend your time. But you can hook a trailer up to this and cruise up a hill at, I don't know, 1,700 RPMs and 30 pounds of boost and not even think about anything. This will make probably 40 to 60 pounds of boost by 2,000 RPMs. It's incredible. The low pressure turbo is where you make almost all your power. I mean, with just the low pressure turbo and 100% stock high pressure, we were pushing 9 to 950 horsepower. And that's the only thing you upgraded in the turbos. A lot of people used to think, oh, that there's some sort of secret in the high pressure turbo, and we tried everything. I mean, we ended up with a 59 millimeter compressor wheel with a stock turbine wheel. But that's not for lack of trying. We tried a 61 compressor wheel, 62, 64, 66, and 68. And we tried 3 different turbine wheels. 10 blades, S300 style, precision style. We went slightly bigger, we went way bigger. Nothing helped anything more than just your basic 59 millimeter compressor wheel and your stock turbine wheel. And I really feel like that's because the low pressure turbo is a restriction at that point. Doesn't matter what you do with the high pressure, the low pressure is just holding it back. So we've got a few things in development. We're going to work on maybe some even larger turbine wheels, maybe larger housings, but I feel like you got to get the air out of the low pressure before you start worrying too much about the high pressure turbo. The best way I like to describe how 6.4 drives, especially with compounds and good tuning, is it's light. It feels very light. It doesn't feel like you're driving an 8,000 pound truck. It makes you feel like you're driving a brand new C8 Corvette. I mean, it's just very zippy, very quick. One of the things I love about a 6.4 compounds is just low end boost. So we're at 1,500 RPMs cruising down the freeway. I mean, with 4 pounds of boost, trying to go as slow as I can. Pounds of boost by 2,000 RPMs, no smoke, no EGTs. You just can't do that with any other truck. I mean, maybe put some expensive aftermarket compound system on there, but nothing compares to the 6.4 compounds, especially upgraded 6.4 compounds. I mean, we tested it. Nothing spools faster, and nothing makes more power. In any sort of drop-in application, maybe some expensive aftermarket, high dollar kit, but even then, I bet you nothing rivals 40 to 50 pounds of boost at 2,000 RPMs, no smoke, no EGT problems. One of the things that scared me the most about a 6.4 was the cracked pistons. But you can put international pistons in it, or they make upgraded pistons for it. I mean, you can do the basic same upgrades to a 6.0 that you do to a 6.4, like head studs and other reliability mods, but the cracked piston scares me a bunch. So I do recommend people put upgraded pistons in them if you're running stockers. But the transmission, the 5R, I mean, it's pretty bulletproof in these applications. If you're going to go to the track and, you know, make big power, make a race truck, there's probably other options, but the 6.4 tuning seems to be a little more dialed into the 6.0, so the transmissions actually do a lot better. The engine runs good, the trucks are great. You can Google the 6.4 problems, which they are plentiful and they do have their problems, but they also have their solutions. And once you fix all those things, the 6.4s are just so incredible.